So you found some extra money in your budget and you want to start investing. But are you really ready for that? In this video, we'll touch on the things you need to do before you start investing. Otherwise, you could completely undermine your investment strategy and end up losing money. I'll share with you a checklist on all of the areas you'll want to check off before you start investing. So let's get that pen ready. Welcome to Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise, where we talk about little things that can lead to big improvements in our financial and physical health. If these are the things you're interested in, you'll definitely want to subscribe and become part of our community because, after all, it's free, and it'll make sure you don't miss any upcoming videos. So recently we talked about how to find an extra $100 a month to start investing with, and now I'm hoping you've used those strategies or used your own, and now you've got that amount to work with. But before you start coming up with a financial investment strategy, we have to make sure that you're really ready for that. And for that, we're going to come up with a checklist to make sure you don't start putting money into the market only to find yourself in a crisis and actually end up losing money. As you probably can tell, the inspiration of this channel is from one of Benjamin Franklin's famous sayings. But another saying that goes back well before his time is, haste makes waste. And that notion is extremely important when it comes to investing. And I want to make sure you don't rush into something that costs you valuable time and money. Keep in mind this video will provide general strategies that will be helpful for most people, but I'm not a financial advisor and I would recommend consulting with your own financial advisor to help you with your unique financial situation. So let's go over a checklist of what you should do before you start investing. Number 1, make sure you have enough money to cover for an emergency such as losing your job or needing an expensive repair to your house or car. Now, many experts will tell you to have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up, but I would strongly recommend at least 6 months. There's nothing like having a cushion if something bad happens. And I'm not just talking about money, but also time. When something bad happens, it could take a lengthy period of time to recover, so having that extra savings that gives you more time to get back on your feet can help another bad thing from affecting you, and that's stress. We talk about being healthy on this channel, and nothing can undermine your health like stress. If you end up putting all of your extra money into investments, even good ones like retirement investing or paying off your mortgage, you could find yourself having to run up a credit card or taking a loan to pay off emergency expenses that can and do come up. And since you can't easily take out money from a traditional retirement fund without paying a penalty or fees, it's best not to put yourself in that position in the first place. Definitely build up an emergency reserve. The second thing you should do is to absolutely pay down all of your credit card debt and outstanding personal loans you have, and consider even paying down your mortgage debt first. About non-mortgage debt, such as credit cards, let's say the interest rate you have to pay on the debt is 16%. And let's say hypothetically that you have a surefire investment that earns you 16%, which as we know there is no such thing. But if there were, the investment earnings still wouldn't equal out the debt you have because you have to pay taxes on the gains of the investment, whereas there is no deduction on consumer debt. It's really a no-brainer that you pay off your credit cards and your personal or car loans before you start investing. Now with a mortgage, it's not as clear-cut. I would say if you are earlier in your mortgage term, I would definitely recommend making extra payments early on because early on is where you are stuck paying most of your interest. Now your savings on making payments later in your mortgage is more limited as your payments are going mostly to the principal at that point. There are other considerations with mortgages that can affect your decision on paying it off early. One consideration is to make sure you don't have a mortgage with prepayment penalties. You should never accept that as a term of your mortgage. Another issue is if you're paying for private mortgage insurance, which is typically required if you don't have at least 20% equity in your house. This is different from homeowners insurance, which everyone has to have. You really want to get your equity past the point where you no longer need this insurance because it's a payment that doesn't go toward building equity in your house. Everyone has different circumstances, and in your situation, you may not have been able to make a down payment of 20% on your house when you bought it, but when you can help it, you want to put at least that 20% down so you don't have to pay for the insurance. But if you do have the insurance, you want to build enough equity as fast as you can so you can get rid of this insurance, and you would want to do this before you start investing. Another consideration with mortgages is that the interest that you do have to pay is deductible on your taxes, so when you consider that the interest is deductible and that your interest rate on a mortgage typically is much lower than other types of debt, and currently in the 3 to 4% range, then you can see why it's a little less clear cut on paying off mortgage debt before investing. Now again, I'm not a financial advisor and you have to do what's best for you, But a strategy I would consider if I had extra money to work with would be to fully fund my retirement plans before putting extra money on paying off the mortgage. Now there's a lot to be said of having the peace of mind and paying off your house, and that's hard to beat, so I would have no argument if that's the route you took. But the thing I would really recommend would be to make strides in paying off your mortgage early and maximize funding your retirement plans before you start non-retirement investing, where you won't have the benefit of paying down debt and growing wealth in a tax-deductible manner. In future videos, I hope to further delve into mortgages and retirement investing with more details and strategies. For today, I just want to help you prioritize what you could do when you might not know where to start. And that's it. I know everyone wants to put out these long lists of things you have to do, but really there are just two main considerations that can help you get on the right path. Sure, there are some nuances, but getting a handle on your emergency reserve and paying down debt in the most effective and prioritized manner are really the most important things you can do to help you get ready for additional investing. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please hit that like button, share with your family and friends, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments section if you agree on these strategies. I hope that we can all learn from each other on how to take little, easy steps in making big improvements in our lives. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, have a great day.